Meanwhile, the heinous and despiteful act of Satan done in paradise, and how he and the serpent had perverted Eve, her husband she, to taste the fatal fruit was known in heaven. For what can scape the eye of God all-seeing, or deceive his heart omniscient? Who in all things wise and just hindered not Satan to attempt the mind of man, with strength entire and free will armed, complete to have discovered and repulsed whatever wiles of foe or seeming friend. For still they knew, and ought to have still remembered, the high injunction, not to taste that fruit, whoever tempted, which they not obeying, incurred what could they less, the penalty, and manifold in sin deserved to fall. Up into heaven from paradise in haste, the angelic guards ascended, mute and sad for man. For of his state by this they knew, much wondering how the subtle fiend had stolen entrance unseen. Soon as the unwelcome news from earth arrived at heaven gate, displeased all were who heard. Dim sadness did not spare that time's celestial visages, yet mixed with pity, violated not their bliss. About the new arrived in multitudes the ethereal people ran, to hear and know how all befell. They towards the throne supreme, accountable, made haste, to make appear, with righteous plea, their utmost vigilance, and easily approved. When the Most High Eternal Father from his secret cloud, amidst in thunder, uttered thus his voice: Assembled angels, and ye powers returned from unsuccessful charge, be not dismayed, nor troubled at these tidings from the earth, which your sincerest care could not prevent. Foretold so lately what would come to pass, when first this tempter crossed the gulf from hell. I told ye then he should prevail, and speed on his bad errand. Man should be seduced and flattered out of all, believing lies against his Maker, no decree of mine concurring to necessitate his fall, or touch with lightest moment of impulse his free will, to her own inclining left in even scale. But fallen he is, and now what rests, but that the mortal sentence pass on his transgression, death denounced that day, which he presumes already vain and void, because not yet inflicted, as he feared, by some immediate stroke, but soon shall find forbearance no acquittance ere day end. Justice shall not return as bounty scorned, but whom send I to judge them? Whom but thee, Vicegerent's son? To thee I have transferred all judgment, whether in heaven or earth or hell. Easy it may be seen that I intend mercy colleague with justice, sending thee man's friend, his mediator, his designed both ransom and redeemer voluntary, and destined man himself to judge man fallen. So spake the Father, and unfolding bright toward the right hand his glory, on the sun blazed forth unclouded deity. He full resplendent all his Father manifest expressed, and thus divinely answered mild: Father eternal, thine is to decree, mine both in heaven and earth, to do thy will supreme, that thou in me, thy Son beloved, mayest ever rest well pleased. I go to judge on earth these thy transgressors, but thou knowest, whoever judged, the worst on me must light when time shall be. For so I undertook before thee, and not repenting this obtain of right, that I may mitigate their doom on me derived. Yet I shall temper so justice with mercy, as may illustrate most them fully satisfied, and thee appease. Attendants none shall need, nor train, where none are to behold the judgment, but the judged, those two. The third best absent is condemned, convict by flight, and rebel to all law. Conviction to the serpent none belongs. Thus saying, from his radiant seat he rose, of high collateral glory, him thrones and powers, princedoms, and dominations ministrant, accompany to heaven gate, from whence Eden and all the coast in prospect lay. Down he descended straight, the speed of gods time counts not, though with swiftest minutes winged. Now was the sun in western cadence low from noon, and gentle airs dew at their hour to fan the earth now waked, and usher in the evening cool, when he from wrath more cool came the mild judge and intercessor both to sentence man. The voice of God they heard now walking in the garden, by soft winds brought to their ears while day declined. They heard, and from his presence hid themselves among the thickest trees, both man and wife, till God, approaching thus to Adam, called aloud, Where art thou, Adam? Wont with joy to meet my coming seen far off? I miss thee here, not pleased, thus entertained with solitude, where obvious duty ere while appeared unsought. Or come I less conspicuous, or what change absents thee, or what chance detains? Come forth. He came, and with him Eve, more loth, though first to offend, discountenanced both, and discomposed. Love was not in their looks, either to God or to each other, but apparent guilt and shame and perturbation and despair, anger and obstinacy, and hate and guile. Whence Adam, faltering long, thus answered brief,